Stop, my child. Do not move past this moment. Do not tell yourself you will come back later. Do not quiet the stirring in your spirit or explain it away. You were meant to see this, and I will not let you rest until you hear what I have to tell you today. I have placed this message directly in your path, not by chance scrolling, not by coincidence. This moment has been marked by heaven, and your presence here is intentional. Something within you already knows this, even if your mind is trying to resist it. Stay. Listen. Breathe. This interruption is necessary. This is not a coincidence. I have interrupted your day on purpose. I know what you were thinking about before you arrived here. I know what has been weighing on you. I know what you have been avoiding, what you have been praying about, and what you have almost given up hoping for. I did not stop you to fill space. I stopped you because something big is about to happen in your life, and you must be ready to recognize it when it begins. Readiness does not come from control or planning. It comes from listening. That is why I am speaking now. My child, you feel the pull to listen because heaven itself has paused you here. You may feel unsettled, alert, or strangely focused, and you may not understand why. That is because this moment is not ordinary. Your spirit recognizes my voice even before your mind fully accepts it. Do not ignore my voice now. Ignoring it will not silence it. It will only delay what I am trying to prepare you for. I am not calling you to frighten you. I am calling you because I love you too much to remain silent when timing matters. I would not call you if it did not matter. I do not interrupt lives casually. I do not stop hearts for no reason. I would not stop you if this moment were ordinary. I see the paths ahead of you. I see the choices approaching. I see the shift forming beneath the surface of your life. And because I see it, I speak now. Something powerful is unfolding right now, even if you cannot yet see it clearly. Power often moves quietly before it becomes visible. Stay with me. Do not scroll away. Do not rush past this with distraction. Do not minimize what you feel. What I am about to reveal will change how you understand what comes next. It will not confuse you. It will clarify you. It will not burden you. It will steady you. It will not overwhelm you. It will awaken you. But only if you stay. I know how quickly you have learned to move on from moments that ask for stillness. Life taught you to keep going, to keep busy, to keep your guard up. But I'm asking you to pause now, because pausing here is not losing time. It is gaining alignment. You have been moving forward carrying questions you could not answer, weight you could not release, and expectations you could not fulfill. I am interrupting because I want to speak before those weights define your next steps. You may be tempted to think this is just emotion, just words, just another message among many. But listen closely to your spirit, not your habits. Notice how something inside you is paying attention even if part of you wants to resist. That attentiveness is not curiosity. It is recognition. You know my voice. You have heard it before in moments of clarity, conviction, comfort, and calling. You may not have always followed it, but you have always known it. I am not speaking to everyone who hears this. Many will listen and feel nothing. Many will move on unchanged. But you are still here, and that matters. Heaven does not waste moments like this. When I speak with urgency, it is because waiting would cost you more than listening. I am not threatening you. I am protecting you. Something big is about to happen in your life, not because you earned it, not because you forced it, but because the season has shifted. You have been prepared in ways you did not see. You have been strengthened through things you did not choose. You have been shaped through waiting, disappointment, and perseverance. Now you are approaching a moment where those things will matter, and I want you awake for it. Do not tell yourself you are not ready. Readiness is not about having everything together. It is about being willing to listen and respond. Do not tell yourself you are unworthy. Worthiness was never the requirement. Willingness is. Do not tell yourself you have time to decide later. Later is uncertain. Now is clear. Say amen. I'm rooted in Christ if your foundation is unmovable because of Him. I am holding your attention because I want to hold your future steady. I am speaking now because silence would leave you unprepared. I am interrupting you because continuing without hearing this would cost you peace. This is not pressure. This is guidance. This is not fear. This is care. Stay with me a little longer. Let the noise quiet. Let your breathing slow. Let your heart open instead of bracing. You do not need to understand everything yet. You only need to listen. I will guide you step by step. I will not abandon you in what comes next. I will not call you without walking with you. This moment is sacred. Treat it as such. Do not rush past it. Do not harden yourself against it. Do not talk yourself out of what your spirit already knows is true. I am here. I am speaking. And what I am about to tell you will matter more than you realize right now. Today, listen. Do not move on. Something big is about to happen in your life, and this is where your understanding begins. Stop, my child. Stop your movement. Stop your thoughts from racing ahead. Stop your hands from reaching for the next distraction. I am speaking to you now, and this moment has been arranged by heaven with intention and care. You were not meant to rush past this. You were not meant to skim it, postpone it, or reduce it to background noise. I am interrupting you because what you were doing, thinking, or planning can wait. But what I am about to speak cannot. This is not emotional motivation meant to stir you briefly and then fade. This is divine intention meeting you exactly where you are. I know how restless you have been. I know how your mind has struggled to be still, how your heart has felt unsettled even in moments when everything around you seemed quiet. That restlessness is not a flaw. It is not weakness. It is not anxiety without cause. It is purpose stirring within you, calling for your attention. You have been trying to quiet it, distract it, explain it away, but it persists because it was never meant to be silenced. It was meant to bring you here. This interruption is not accidental. Heaven itself has leaned into your life and paused you here. I know the habit to keep moving, to stay busy, to avoid stillness, because stillness forces you to feel what you have been carrying. But I am asking you to stop because stopping here is not loss. It is alignment. It is protection. It is preparation. I am not asking for much, only your attention and your honesty. Let your mind slow. Let your spirit listen. I am closer than you realize. I speak with authority now, not to overpower you, but to steady you. Authority does not always sound loud, sometimes it sounds clear. And clarity is what you need in this moment. You have been surrounded by voices pulling you in different directions, expectations pressing on you, questions without answers echoing in your thoughts. I am interrupting that noise because clarity does not survive in chaos. It needs space. It needs stillness. That is why this moment feels different. I have created room for my voice to be heard. Do not confuse this urgency with pressure. Pressure comes from fear and demands performance. Urgency from me comes for love and demands attention. I am not pushing you to perform. I am calling you to listen. I am not asking you to fix your life in this moment. I am asking you to let me speak into it. There is a difference, and understanding that difference will change how you receive what comes next. You may feel an urge to move on, to scroll, to check something else, to postpone this moment because it feels serious. That urge is not wisdom. It is resistance. Resistance often disguises itself as busyness. But I am asking you to resist the urge to escape and instead remain present. What you avoid now will only wait for you later, often heavier and louder. What you face now with me will be handled with grace. This moment was arranged because you are at a point where continuing without hearing me would cost you more than stopping to listen. I see the paths ahead of you. I see the choices forming. I see how close you are to a shift you do not yet fully understand. And because I see it, I intervene now. I do not intervene randomly. I intervene when awareness is needed before action. Please support our channel. Our work is dedicated to bringing happiness into your life and strengthening devotion to God. If you wish, you can support us by donating through Super Thanks. You may wonder why this feels personal. It is because I am not addressing a crowd. I am speaking to you. I know your history. I know your questions. I know what you have prayed for and what you stopped praying for because waiting became tiring. I know where you feel strong and where you feel uncertain. Nothing about you is hidden from me, and nothing about this moment is generic. I am interrupting you because I want to redirect you gently before you move too far without clarity. Redirection is easier when it happens early. Correction is harder when it happens late. This interruption is mercy, not rebuke. It is guidance, not condemnation. I am not pointing out everything you have done wrong. I am pointing you toward what matters now. Restlessness has been your signal, not your enemy. It has been telling you that you have outgrown something, that you are no longer meant to stay where you are emotionally, spiritually, or mentally. But restlessness without direction becomes frustration. That is why I am speaking to give direction to what you have been feeling. To show you that what unsettled you is also what is preparing you. You are not losing peace because something is wrong with you. You are being stirred because something is about to change. Change requires awareness. Awareness requires interruption. That is why I am stopping you here. If I allowed you to keep moving at the same pace, you would miss what is unfolding quietly beneath the surface of your life. This is not a moment to analyze everything. Analysis will come later. This is a moment to receive. Let my words settle without trying to dissect them immediately. Let your spirit absorb what your mind may need time to understand. Trust that clarity will come in steps, not all at once. I know you are used to carrying responsibility, making decisions, and holding things together. I am not taking that from you. I am simply asking you to pause long enough to receive guidance so that what you carry next will be lighter and more aligned. You do not need to be strong in this moment. You only need to be open. Is it necessary because it comes next required awareness? You cannot step into the next season distracted. exhausted, or unaware of what I am doing. I want you awake for it. I want you listening. I want you ready, not because I demand perfection, but because readiness protects you. Do not tell yourself you are not ready to hear this. Readiness is not about feeling confident. It is about being willing to stop and listen. You have already done that by staying here. That matters more than you know. I am not asking you to make a decision right now. I am asking you to stay present while I speak. Decisions come easier when they are informed by truth rather than pressure. Let truth settle first. This moment is holy not because it feels dramatic, but because it is intentional. I am with you in it. I have not left you to figure things out alone. I am not observing from a distance. I am here, speaking, guiding, interrupting because I care deeply about where you are headed. Stay still a little longer. Let the urgency steady you rather than scare you. Let the seriousness ground you rather than overwhelm you. You are safe here. You are seen here. And you are being prepared here. This is why I said stop. Not to limit you, but to protect you. Not to slow you down permanently, but to realign you before you move again. This interruption was arranged by heaven, and it is for you. My child, you did not arrive here by accident. Nothing about this moment is random, misplaced, or late. You were guided here by unseen hands that have been working in your life far longer than you realize. Even when you felt lost, even when you felt unsure, even when you thought you were simply moving through days without direction, heaven was quietly aligning your steps. I have been leading you in ways you could not see, arranging moments, slowing others, speeding some, all so you would arrive right here, right now, with your heart open enough to listen. You may think you found this message on your own, but the truth is deeper. Long before your eyes saw these words, I saw you. Long before you felt the pull to stop, I knew the exact moment you would be ready to hear me. Every delay, every pause, every unexpected turn that brought you here was not wasted time. It was alignment. I was not dragging you forward, and I was not forcing your path. I was guiding you gently, patiently, respecting your pace while still keeping you within reach of my purpose. There were moments you thought you missed your way. Moments when you questioned your decisions and wondered if you had gone too far off course to return. But I want you to understand something clearly now. You cannot wander beyond my reach. You cannot fall so far behind that I lose sight of you. You cannot take a step that surprises me. I have been walking with you even in the places you thought I was absent. I was there in the confusion, there in the waiting, there in the detours that felt unnecessary at the time. Divine timing does not always feel kind when you are inside it. It can feel slow, unfair, or confusing. You watched others move ahead while you felt delayed. You questioned whether you were behind, whether you had waited too long, whether something about you caused you to miss what others seemed to receive so easily. But hear me now. You are not late. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. Timing is not measured by comparison. It is measured by readiness, and readiness is shaped quietly. I aligned this moment because something within you has matured. You may not see it clearly, but I do. You have learned patience through waiting. You have learned humility through uncertainty. You have learned empathy through disappointment. These were not random lessons. They were preparing you to recognize my voice with depth instead of impulse, with trust instead of excitement alone. If this message had reached you earlier, You might have heard it but not received it. Now you are ready to receive it. Right, amen. Your presence strengthens me if He renews your spirit daily. There were unseen protections around you. Doors you wanted that did not open. Paths you were eager to take that suddenly ended. Relationships thou shifted without explanation. At the time, those moments felt like loss or rejection, but they were part of the orchestration that led you here. I was shielding you from outcomes that would have hardened your heart or distracted your spirit. I was preserving your sensitivity, keeping you close enough to hear me when the time was right. You are not someone who arrived here by accident because you clicked at the right moment. You arrived here because I guided your attention. I slowed you down when you were rushing. I unsettled you when you became too comfortable. I stirred questions when you tried to settle for answers that did not satisfy your spirit. That restlessness you felt was not confusion. It was alignment pulling you forward. Heaven does not work in chaos. It works in order, even when that order is invisible to you. Every season you walked through had a purpose connected to this moment. The waiting refined you. The silence sharpened your hearing. The disappointment clarified your desires. The delays reduced distractions. All of it brought you to a place where your heart could recognize truth when it arrived. You may have thought you were simply enduring life, surviving days, making the best choices you could. But beneath the surface, something more intentional was happening. I was weaving together moments you did not connect at the time. Conversations that lingered in your mind. Thoughts that returned again and again. Questions that refused to settle. These were not random. They were invitations guiding you toward clarity. Do not let shame tell you that you should have been further along by now. Shame does not speak for me. I do not measure your journey by speed or comparison. I measure it by growth, by honesty, by willingness. And you have grown more than you think. You have become more aware, more discerning, more open than you were before. That is why you are here now. Heaven has not been watching you from a distance. Heaven has been involved in the details of your life, the timing of events, the way certain things fell apart just before they could trap you, the way other things came together quietly without effort. You did not see the full picture, but I did. And I am still guiding you. You are not standing at the edge of something by accident. You are standing here because alignment brought you here. Alignment does not always feel smooth. It often feels like interruption, like pause, like waiting. But it is precise. And precision is what makes moments like this possible. I want you to trust that nothing about your life has been overlooked. Even the parts you wish you could redo. Even the choices you regret. Even the time you feel you lost. I can redeem all of it. I can use all of it. And I have been doing so quietly. You are not forgotten. Forgotten people do not feel this pull. Forgotten people do not hear this voice. Forgotten people do not arrive at moments like this with their hearts alert. You are here because you are remembered, because you are seen, because you matter in ways you do not fully understand yet. This moment was not rushed. It was not delayed. It is happening at the right time for you. Trust that. Let that truth settle the anxiety that tells you you are behind. You are not behind. You are on time for what I am about to do. I am asking you now to let go of the idea that your life has been drifting. It has been guided. Not always handily, not always comfortably, but faithfully. And this message is part of that guidance. It is a confirmation that you are not walking alone, that your steps have been watched, and that your presence here matters. Stay open. Stay listening. Trust the process that brought you here. Heaven has been involved in your story from the beginning, and it is still involved now. You did not arrive here by accident. You arrived here because you were meant to be here, and because what comes next requires the awareness you are gaining right now. My child, I see what you've been carrying, even the parts you have never spoken aloud. I see the weight that settled slowly over time, the kind that did not arrive all at once but grew heavier day by day until it became part of how you wake, how you breathe, how you move through the world. You learn to carry it quietly. You learn to smile while holding it. You learn to function while it pressed against your chest. But do not mistake your ability to carry it for an indication that it was ever meant to be yours. I see the emotional weight you have been holding, the disappointments that stacked one on top of another, the hopes you allowed yourself to feel, only to watch them fade without explanation. I see how you tried to stay hopeful without becoming naive, how you tried to believe without setting yourself up to be hurt again. That balance exhausted you more than you realize. You were not just disappointed by outcomes, you were tired of hoping carefully. You were tired of guarding your heart while still trying to keep it open. That kind of tension drains the soul. I see the mental weight too. The constant thinking, replaying, questioning, and wondering. The conversations you replayed in your mind long after they ended. The decisions you revisited again and again, wondering if you chose wrong, if you waited too long, if you moved too soon. Your mind rarely rested, even when your body did. You tried to sleep, but your thoughts stayed awake. You tried to distract yourself, but the questions followed you. You tried to be present, but the future and the past kept pulling at you from opposite sides. I see the spiritual weight you have been carrying, the kind that comes from praying and not seeing immediate answers, from believing and still waiting, from trusting and still feeling unsure. You kept praying even when your words felt dry. You kept listening even when silence answered you back. You kept showing up even when you felt unseen. That kind of faith is heavy, not because it is weak, but because it is persistent. Persistence costs something when relief is delayed. I know the silent prayers you whispered, the ones that were not long or polished, but raw and simple. The prayers that sounded more like sighs than sentences. The prayers you prayed in your heart because you were too tired to speak. The prayers you stopped praying out loud because repeating them felt painful. I heard every one of them. Not a single one was ignored. Silence did not mean absence. Waiting did not mean rejection. I see your exhaustion. Not just physical tiredness, but the deeper exhaustion that comes from holding yourself together for too long. The kind that makes rest feel insufficient and weekends feel too short. You rested when you could, but the weight did not lift because it lived deeper than sleep could reach. You were tired of being strong, tired of being the one who adapts, tired of being the one who keeps going because others expect it of you, and because stopping felt like falling apart. I see the disappointment that shaped how you expect things now. How you learned to lower expectations not because you stopped caring, but because caring deeply hurt too much. You told yourself not to hope too big, not to trust too fully, not to dream too freely. You called it wisdom, but it was really protection. You were protecting your heart from more pain. I understand that. I do not condemn you for it. I want you to know I saw why you did it. I see the confusion you have lived with, the questions without answers, the moments when nothing felt clearly right or clearly wrong. You stood at crossroads more than once, unsure which direction would bring peace. You asked for signs. You asked for clarity. You asked for reassurance. And when answers did not come quickly, you learned to keep moving anyway. That uncertainty weighed on you, even when you pretended you were fine with it. I see the waiting you endured. Waiting for change. Waiting for relief. Waiting for confirmation. Waiting for something to make sense. Waiting for something to shift. Waiting while life continued around you. Waiting while others moved forward. Waiting while your own progress felt slow or hidden. Waiting requires patience, but prolonged waiting requires strength, and strength requires energy. You have spent much of yours just holding on. I know there were moments you questioned yourself, wondered if you were too sensitive, too emotional, too slow, too cautious, too much or not enough. Those thoughts did not come from truth. They came from carrying too much alone for too long. When weight is unshared, it distorts perspective. I want to restore your perspective by sharing the load with you now. I see the moments you cried alone, the tears you wiped away quickly because you did not want to explain them, the moments you broke just enough to breathe again and then pulled yourself back together. You told yourself others had it worse. You told yourself you should be grateful. You told yourself to be strong. But strength does not require silence, and gratitude does not cancel pain. You were allowed to feel what you felt. I see the effort it took to keep trusting me when circumstances gave you little evidence to hold on to. I see how you questioned whether I was listening, whether I cared, whether your prayers mattered. I did not turn away from those questions. I stayed with you in them. Faith that questions is still faith. Faith that waits is still faith. Faith that struggles is not broken. It is alive. I see how you tried to carry responsibility for things that were never yours to fix. Other people's emotions. Other people's choices. Outcomes beyond your control. You felt responsible to make things work, to keep peace, to hold things together. That responsibility weighed on you, slowly bending your shoulders and tiring your spirit. You were never meant to carry everything alone. I see the way you have been holding yourself back, not because you lack courage, but because you are tired of disappointment. You learned to move carefully. You learned to hesitate where you once leapt. That was not failure. That was fatigue. And fatigue deserves compassion, not judgment. I see the longing you tried to bury because it felt safer not to want too much. The dreams you quieted. The desires you set aside. The parts of you that still hope quietly, even when you tell yourself you have moved on. Those parts are not foolish. They are alive. And I have not forgotten them. You do not need to explain any of this to me. I already know. I have seen every layer of what you have been carrying. I have felt it with you. When you felt alone, I was present. When you felt unseen, I was watching. When you felt unheard, I was listening. You were never invisible to me, not for a moment. I am not bringing this to the surface to overwhelm you. I am bringing it to the surface so you can release it. Weight acknowledged can be shared. Burden seen can be lifted. You do not need to hold everything together anymore. You do not need to pretend you are fine in my presence. You are safe to be honest here. I see what you've been carrying, and I am telling you now that you do not have to carry it alone any longer. Let yourself breathe. Let your shoulders drop. Let your heart rest for a moment. You are seen. You are understood. And I am here with you, ready to carry what has been too heavy for you to hold by yourself. My child, I want you to understand something that has been confusing you for a long time. The restlessness you have felt is not anxiety trying to destroy you. It is preparation trying to move you. There is a difference, and knowing that difference will change how you see yourself and what you have been experiencing. Anxiety drains you without direction. Preparation stirs you with purpose. What you have been feeling is not your spirit breaking down. It is your spirit waking up. You have tried to label this unrest as weakness, as instability, as something you need to fix or silence. You wondered why you could not just settle, why peace felt temporary, why comfort felt incomplete. You questioned yourself and asked whether something was wrong with you. Hear me clearly now. Nothing is wrong with you. Something is changing within you. And change always creates movement before it creates clarity. Your spirit has felt restless because you have outgrown the season you are in. Growth does not always announce itself with joy. Often it announces itself with discomfort. When something no longer fits, it begins to irritate you. What once felt normal begins to feel tight. What once sustained you begins to drain you. That is not failure. That is transition. I know you tried to make your current season work. You adjusted your expectations. You adapted your behavior. You told yourself to be patient, to be grateful, to settle. And for a time, that worked. But then something shifted inside you. You could not explain it, but you felt it. A quiet dissatisfaction. A sense that staying was costing you something deeper than leaving ever would. That is not anxiety. That is discernment forming. Your spirit is not restless because you lack peace. It is restless because it senses movement ahead. Peace is not always stillness. Sometimes peace is agreement with change. And your spirit has been sensing that it is time to move forward, even if your mind has been trying to keep you where you are. Discomfort is often the first language of transition. Before doors open, before clarity comes, before new ground is visible, discomfort arrives to loosen your grip on what you are standing on. If you were completely comfortable, you would never move. Growth would stop. Purpose would stall. That is why discomfort is not your enemy. It is your signal. You have outgrown ways of thinking that once protected you. You have outgrown patterns that once kept you safe. You have outgrown environments that once taught you lessons you needed at the time. Outgrowing does not mean those things were wrong. It means they were seasonal. And seasons are not meant to last forever. Your restlessness has been your spirit saying, "This is no longer enough." Not because you are ungrateful, but because you are being prepared for more. More alignment. More responsibility. More clarity. More life. Settling now would be easier, but it would cost you later. Your spirit knows this even when your mind argues against it. Type Amen. I believe in unseen miracles if you trust God's power beyond what you see. And share this video